I mentioned this in a few blogs in the past. That I would sometimes check my savings account and get a pleasant surprise. The surprises are dividends from investments that I have not done anything to for so long that I almost forget I have them. You know what they say about buying and forgetting? Some people would look down on people like that. However, for me, it has not always been a bad thing. These are stocks which are usually free of cost for me but are still generating income. During Evening with AK and Friends 2023, I mentioned Old Change Key and Hak Lien Seng as two of such investments for me. They are not the only two either, but I cannot recall the others now. I will remember when I see their dividends come in, I am sure. My memory is getting quite terrible. Anyway, why am I talking to myself about this? Well, quite recently, there is a new addition to these surprises. T-bills. As my 6 months T-bill ladder is complete, I have money coming back to me every 2 weeks. However, as it is a relatively recent development, I am still not used to it. This is especially when the amount is relatively big compared to dividends received from investments I sometimes forget I have. Of course, I also have to remind myself that I am not receiving money that I can spend here. It is a return of my capital. I have quite a bit of money coming in this month, as the month of May is usually a good month for dividends. Mixed together with this is money coming back from T-bills bought in October and November last year. Already bought some 6 months T-bills in the last round of auction, which saw a cut-off yield of 3.78% per annum. We'll be putting in a non-competitive bid for the upcoming 6 months T-bill auction next week. I would be quite happy to get a cut-off yield of 3.78% per annum again or thereabout. Basically, anything higher than the 6 months fixed deposit rates offered by DBS, OCBC or UOB would be good enough for me. I remind myself that T-bills pay us at the beginning of the 6 months duration, which means the interest rate is actually higher than what the cut-off yield indicates. I also remind myself that this is not my main source of passive income, and it should not be my main source of passive income. To illustrate this, in Q1 2023 so far, I have bought 3 T-bills which have generated about $500 in passive income for me. This is really pocket money compared to dividends I have received so far. However, I never look down on pocket money, especially if it flows into my pocket regularly. Also, this is money which I didn't have before. This is all thanks to higher interest rates. As an investor for income, I am a creature of comfort, and I also said during Evening with AK and Friends 2023 that investing for income is very comforting. I find T-bills more comforting now that they pay better than they did in a long time. The front end of the yield curve is still elevated even as the Fed has signaled a pause in rate hikes. I know there is talk of a Fed pivot by end of the year, and it could well happen, but worrying about whether it will happen or not does nothing to generate income for me. I would rather make hay while the sun shines. Anyway, my expectation is for 6 months T-bills to remain relatively rewarding in the near future, taking into consideration that it is risk-free and volatility-free just like the CPF. There is nothing wrong with having more cash and cash equivalents in our financial pyramid, especially in an environment when cash is no longer trash. If things should go terribly wrong like they do from time to time, with a stronger footing, we should have less to fear and greater ability to take advantage of investment opportunities. Remember, we should all have our own plan. If AK can do it, so can you.